Hey, what's going on, guys? With everything happening on THORChain, I wanted to share some of my favorite dashboards that I look at for volume, affiliates, and just everything going on with THORChain. Even if you're a bond provider, there's some really good dashboards. I also want to focus briefly on Maya Protocol. There's going to be an introduction of TCY, which is purely a revenue sharing token on THORChain, but Maya Protocol already has a version of that with the Maya token over there. So that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Firstly, talking about the Maya token, they do have a pretty cool calculator, myscan.org. I'm going to put links to all of these resources, by the way, wherever this video gets posted. So don't worry about that bit here, but you can put in, for example, 1 Maya, and then you can look what that earns. So over the last 30 days, it would be 13 cents per year with an APY of 2.69. It is using a $5 Maya projection for the dollar amount right here, so it's not something that fluctuates with the actual price of Maya. If you do want to actually buy the token, then you can go to mayaswap.org, and they have an order book for it. And as you can see, the current price of Maya is $12.49. So 13 cents a year on $12.49 is a little bit over 1% right now. So if you're buying Maya Protocol and you're betting on that revenue share, you're looking for a lot more volume, unless you're okay with a little over 1% earnings. But you can just come in here and you can buy Maya. So for example, if you wanted to buy 4 Maya, you would come in here, you'd click the button and then connect your wallet, and you would have to pay 160 cacao in order to do that. So it's a little order book here. Looking at Maya Protocol more broadly here on the stats page on mayascan.org, you've got different time frames, 30 days. Let's just take a look at the last 365 days for purpose of this video. You could take a look at the price of cacao, what that's been up to. You've also, it looks like a steady increase in swap volume, which is obviously great. Swap fees as well seem like they're on the uptrend in the last 180 days or so. Total wallets are increasing. Looks like the active wallets are on an average uptrend as well, the average slip. And then you've got Maya, the token. So this is separate from the cacao token, and you can see its trading volume here as well. If you're interested in the people that have integrated THORChain and Maya Protocol and are sending volume through, they've got this interface leaderboard, which is very cool. So you can split it by THORChain or Maya Protocol, and you can look at today's stats, yesterday's stats, or 7-day, and just really focus on where the volume is coming from. You could even use this if you wanted to bet on some of the DEX tokens if you wanted to degen a little bit. For example, if you focus on Maya Protocol, look at the last 7 days. THORSwap has a token, Thor Wallet's got a token, Voltisig will soon, right? You've got the Dorito token as well. Rango's up on here, so you can just take a look at this, and maybe you can place some bets depending on how well they're doing. Although a lot of these interfaces are integrated with more than just THORChain and Maya Protocol, right? But this is just a fun thing to look at. Back to the main myscan.org website, you can also take a look at the network and see how many validators there are. There's currently 33, and there's 89 over on THORChain. I do think that because of the volume levels that Maya Protocol currently has, it wouldn't make sense necessarily for them to have a bunch of validators, because you are splitting the revenue that they have among a lot of validators, and maybe it's not profitable to have 120. So as the volume grows, I'm sure this number will increase as well, because you want to make it profitable. You can also see the next churning event is going to happen 5 days, 17 hours. And lastly, to touch on here is the pools tab. If you want to look at some of the APRs in some of these pools, like this one here, Cacao and USDT on Ethereum, the APR is 138.34% right now, which looks pretty good. The next dashboard I really like is Rune Tools, built by Familiar Cow. You've got a bond tracker. So if you bond to a node, you can see everything that is going on there. And I actually, just as just a random bonder that we're looking at here, they've bonded 17,000. 12 Rune in rewards so far, and 37.64% APY. Although Familiar Cow did put out this tweet. So as time goes on in the churn sort of cycle, the APR does drop over time. That's because initially when you bond, you get a large bit on the churn, but then over time it slows down, so the APY is going to spread out. So just keep that in mind if you're bonding. So what I guess what I'm saying here is it's 37.64%, but by the time we get to the end of the churn, this will likely be lower unless Trust Wallet turns back on, SwapKit turns back on, and maybe a flood of volume comes through. I don't know. You've also got a voting tab. So if they're voting on different proposals or starting a burn or removing a burn, removing block rewards, you can watch the progress of those node votes here on this dashboard. You've also got an earnings tab if you wanted to take a look at this one. My favorite one here is this earning source. So you've got the block rewards, which are stable, and the liquidity fees have been doing really well on these last, on these 2 days, right? When Rune was kind of going through some stuff and really the market was just dumping in general. And then you've got some more normal days here. And again, when Trust Wallet and SwapKit turn back on, then this volume is probably, it looks pretty normal and pretty stable. But you could see that most of the fees are coming from liquidity fees, which is good. As well, if you're a bonder, you can take a look at the incentive pendulum to see who is getting favored, liquidity providers or bond providers. Right now, the nodes are getting a big share of the rewards because the network itself is somewhat underbonded according to the incentive pendulum, and might be actually another reason why this APY is increased, is because they're getting more of the fees and the block rewards. And lastly, the supply tracker. Right now there is a burn which you can monitor here, and it kind of like flickers every little bit to show an increase in the burn. But if you're wondering the circulating supply, the total supply, and you want to take a look at all this, this is a great dashboard for that. Those are my favorites on this dashboard, but you can come in here and explore. There's a lot of other cool stuff that you can see here, obviously. If you want to see the volume in real time, this is my favorite place to go, THORChain.net. On the overview page, you've got this here, swap volume, and it is by day, and it sort of estimates how much, based on how much is left in the day, what the volume is going to end up on that day. As you can see, it is a little bit lower today, likely again with SwapKit and Trust Wallet, but you can monitor that right here. If you're ever interested in what's going on with the nodes, then the nodes tab over here is really great. Currently, you can see there are 89 nodes. You can also look at the churn here. There's 2 days, 4 hours left. It's 27% of the way through. But really, if you're wondering how many nodes might churn out, or how many nodes want to actually come into the network, then you can just scroll through here and take a look at all the nodes that are currently in the set. So there's 89, and every churn, 3 leave. And then you've also got standby nodes, and it looks like there are 5 that are going to churn in on the next churn. And it's just based on different things. So this one is the worst performing, this one here. So based on its current performance, this one would get kicked out automatically. You've also got the one with the lowest bond. That one gets ejected on this churn. And then you've also got the oldest, as shown by this little old person with a cane, which is going to be all of us one day, hopefully. But those 3 get churned out automatically. And as you can see, there's no X's here. You would see it. If a node wanted to voluntarily churn out, they could do that. But that is not happening. So that means that people are wanting to churn back in again. So 3 will be out if things stay this way, and 5 will churn in, meaning on the next churn, instead of 89 nodes, there's going to be 91 nodes. So to me, if I'm looking at this, that is a good signal that the node operators that have a lot of money at stake in the protocol believe in it. They're not trying to bail on it. And now people are trying to get back in so they can earn some of this bond rewards APY, which I showed you earlier, is pretty high right now. Those are my favorite dashboards that get me most of what I'm generally looking at. But Ray makes some good ones. I know Spot's got some. Zenina's got some. So there's other dashboards that do exist out there. THORCharts is another good one. So you just got to find the dashboards you like and get familiar with them so you know where everything is that you want to look for and go from there. But I'll have links to these so you can click around and mess with these if you want to. As always, I hope you got some value out of this video, and we'll see you on the next one.